sinking so deep down the sides of mountains so slippery and steep. Your sure-footed good judgment wherever you go, your safety conveyance, my little chopper. With a single or double or lead of a team, over highways and byways or crossing a stream, you're always in fix and you're willing to go whenever you're called on, my little Chapo. Oh, Chapo, my pony, Chapo, my pride, Chapo, mi amigo, Chapo, I'll ride from Mexico's border across Texas, Llano, to the Salt Pecos River, I ride you, Chapo. You're a good roping horse, you were never jerked down. When tied to a steer, you'll circle him round, let him once cross the stream, and over he'll go. You sabe the business, my cow horse Chapo. One night on the Llano, a hailstorm began. Cattle stampeded, the horses all ran. The lightning it glittered, the cyclone did blow. You faced the sweet music, my little Chapo. Oh, Chapo, my pony, Chapo, my pride, Chapo, mi amigo, Chapo, I'll ride from Mexico's border across Texas, Llano, to the Salt Pecos River, I ride you, Chapo. Oh, Chapo, my pony, Chapo, my pride, Chapo, mi amigo, Chapo, I'll ride from Mexico's border across Texas, Llano, to the Salt Pecos River, I ride you, Chapo. We was camped out on the plains at the head of the Cimarron. Along come a stranger and he stopped to argue some. He looked so very foolish and began to look around. We thought he was a greenhorn and just escaped from town. We'd asked if he'd had breakfast and he had not had a sniff. We opened up the chuck box and told him help yourself. He took a little beefsteak, a biscuit and some beans, and he then begun to talk about the foreign kings and queens. He talked about the Spanish War and fighting on the sea, with guns as big as beef steers and ramrods big as trees. And he talked about old Paul Jones, a fighting son of a gun, and he said he was the grittiest cuss that ever pulled a gun. Such an educated feller, his thoughts just come in herds. He astonished all us punchers with his jaw-breaking words. He just kept right on talking till he made the boys all sick, and we began to look around for how to play a trick. He said he lost his job out upon the Santa Fe, and he was going across the plains to strike the 7D. But he didn't say how come it, just some trouble with his boss. He said he'd like to borrow a nice fat saddle horse. This tickled all the boys to death. We laughed down in their sleeves. Said that he could have a horse as fresh as he would please. So Shorty grabbed the lasso and he roped the zebra dun and led him to the stranger as we waited for the fun. Now old Dunny was an outlaw, he had grown so awful wild. He could paw the white out of the moon every jump for a mile. And he always stood right still, just like he didn't know, until he was saddled and ready for the go. Now the stranger hit the saddle and old Dunny quit the earth. He went straight up in the air for all that he was worth, a bawling and a squalling and having a wall-eyed fit, with his hind feet perpendicular and his front ones in the bit. Now we could see the tops of trees beneath him every jump. The stranger, he was growed there just like a camel's hump, and he sat up there upon him and he curled his black mustache just like a summer border a-waiting for his hash. Now he thumped him in the shoulders and he spurred him when he whirled. He showed us flunky punchers, he's the wolf of this old world. And when he had dismounted once again upon the ground, why, we knew he was a thoroughbred and not a gent from town. Now the boss, he was a-standing and a-watching all the show. He walks right up to him and he asked him not to go. If you can use the lasso like you rode the zebra dun, then you're the man I've looked for ever since the year of one. Well, he could use a lasso and he didn't do it slow. The cattle they stampeded, he was always on the go. One thing and a sure thing that I learned since I was born: every educated feller, he ain't a plum greenhorn. Where the Pecos River winds and turns its journey to the sea, from its white walls of sand and rock striving ever to be free, near the highest railroad bridge that all these modern times have seen, dwells fair young Patty Moorhead, the Pecos River Queen. She's known by all the cowboys on the Pecos River wide. They know full well that she can shoot, she can rope and ride. She goes to every roundup, every cow work without fail, looking out for all her cattle branded, walking hog on rail. She made her start in cattle, she made it with her rope. She can tie down any maverick, for it can strike a lope. She can rope and tie and brand as quick as any man. She's voted by all the cowboys as an A1 top cowhand. Oh, across the Comstock Railroad Bridge, the highest in the West, Patty rode her horse one day, a lover's heart to test. For he told her he would gladly risk all dangers for her sake, but the puncher wouldn't follow, she's still without a mate. Where the Pecos River winds and turns its journey to the sea, from its white walls of sand and rock striving ever to be free, near the highest railroad bridge that all these modern times have seen, dwells fair young Patty Moorhead, the Pecos River Queen. Above the mountain tops, a lion cleaned a yearling's bones and licked his thankful chops. When who upon the scene should ride but a tripping down the slope was High Chin Bob with sinful pride and a maverick hungry rope. Oh, glory be to me, says sea and fame's unfading flowers. I ride my top horse here today, I'm the top hand of the lazy J. Hi, kitty cat, you're ours. Now the lion cleaned his paws so brown and dreamed sweet dreams of you, when a big wide loop comes circling down and roped him round his meal. He yowled wild fury to the hills, and all the hills yowled back, and the top horse gave a snorting whirl, and Bob took up the slack. Oh, glory be to me, says he, will hit the glory trail. No man has roped a lion's head and lived to drag that booger dead till I have told the tale. Well, away up high in the Muggy owns, the top horse done his best, from whipping brush to rattling stones, from canyon floor to crest. Now whenever Bobby turned in hope that the limp remains to find, of a red-eyed lion, belly roped but healthy, lope behind. Oh, glory be to me, says he, this glory trail is rough, but I'll keep this dally round the horn until the toot of judgment morn before I holler nothing. 3 sons have rode their circle home beyond the desert rim, and they turned their star herds loose to roam on the ranges high and dim. Yet up and down and round and cross, Bob pounded weak and wan, but pride had glued him to his horse and glory drove him on. Oh, glory be to me, says he can't be drugged to death. Those heroes that I read about was only fools that stuck it out to the end of mortal breath. Now away up high in the muggy owns, if you're ever there at night, you'll hear a ruckus amid the stones that'll lift your hair in fright. You'll see a cow horse thunder by and a lion trail along, and a rider gant but chin on high singing forth his glory song. Oh, glory be to me, says he, and to my mighty noose I took a raging dream in tow, and though I never laid him low, I'll never turn him loose. We're up in the morning at the breaking of day. Chuck wagon's busy, there's flapjacks in play. The herd is astir over hillside and vale, and the night riders rounding them onto the trail. Come take up your cinches, shake out your reins, wake your old bronco to take in the plains. Come with your steers from the long chaparral, for the outfit is off to the railroad curve.